Now, before we start creating something in Figma related to web design, let's talk about one additional thing that will help you to be more efficient, because the module is efficient web design, right? With Figma, it's all about efficiency, effectiveness, resourcefulness, creativity, all those things. And in order to be the most efficient and effective, it's better to think strategically upfront. So before you start working on a project, you think about strategy for this project. If you watch the video about presentations, specifically in the graphic design module, how to create presentations, I'm talking about strategy there. What is strategy and how to apply it to presentations? Well, the idea here is absolutely the same. We can apply the same approach of building a strategy for a web project where we are deciding where we are right now, where we're moving to, and how we're going to do that. And this will allow you to achieve the best results. The best results the fastest way. What does it mean by where we are right now? We are right now also called as point A. So the point A is you have to understand where you're starting this project from. Do you have a brand guidelines? Do you have any like typography guidelines already? Are you redesigning a website or are you building a new website from scratch? Is it a website that then will be used as a mobile application or no, or just a standalone project? Is it a website that will be pretty huge or is it just a one-page website? This is your point A. This is where you define where you are right now. And then there is your point B, where you're moving to. What is the goal that you want to achieve with this web project? Is it to make money for your client? Is it to build a portfolio for yourself? Is it to talk? Is it to say something to visitors so they will understand what this business is doing? So you are defining where you're heading to, what results you want to achieve. And then based on where you are right now, point A, and where you're moving to, point B, you build the path. What is the shortest path to achieve this result from the point where you are right now? This works for absolutely everything. For life, this works for web design as well. And I encourage you to understand all these things and to understand the strategic approach to design, so you know where you're moving to, where you're starting from, and how actually to get to the results that you want. And one of the things that also, in my opinion, important to understand when it comes to web design is that there are some things that can help you to achieve results much easier and faster in the future. Like you are working on this web project for the very first time in your life, but is it possible that you will have similar project in the future? Or maybe there is something for this specific project, for this specific web page that you're designing right now, that you will be able to reuse later for other web pages. And if it's so, then start thinking about how you can optimize your process. And for these purposes, design systems and UI kits is the best approach. And it's really cool to understand how to design, how to create design systems and how to create your own UI kits. And I recommend you to create your own UI kits, not to just download. If you want to, of course, you can download, buy UI kits and design systems for yourself. But my recommendation is to build your own one from scratch, because in this case you will know what exactly you are doing and you will know where that element is on your file, on your computer, or in your Figma file, and also how to reach to that specific element in your design library. It's really, really cool to create your own design system or UI kit. But before we go to that point, I want to show you I want to share with you the process that I usually follow when I create websites. When I just started my design journey, specifically web design journey, honestly, I didn't know much about design and specifically how to design. But I knew one important thing. Because I have master's degree in marketing and I learned business a lot, I realized that, well, what do I need to do to create a great website, basically to transfer the offline business to online. And that's exactly what I did with the first website that I was paid for. Basically, I talked to the owner of the business. I collected all the information. I collected all the data from him, like how he's doing his business, how people are buying, what people are asking questions, what questions people are asking this business owner about his products. And based on this information, I transferred all these answers. I analyzed them, prioritized them, and then based on this information, I built the website. And he started making a ton of money from that website because now he was presented online. It was mind-blowing, and specifically at that point, there were no such a thing as a responsive design, but it was adaptive design. I don't know if you know what adaptive design is, but in a nutshell, it means that you are designing a specific version for a particular breaking points, like for tablet, for mobile, and for desktop. So basically, you can have 3 different websites or position of the elements on this website. So it's not responsive that you just you design responsive version and you just shrink down the size, the width of this version, and then everything will be stacked one under another. There wasn't a point back then in 2010, but that was one of the first websites in that business, in that industry, that had mobile version. And at that point, it was a huge SEO factor. And because of that, that business skyrocketed in Google search results. And also that person made lots of money because I also thought about point B. I don't want just to design a website. I want to be also on the to create something that is exactly what's needed for this business to be successful. And by the way, this is the goal, in my opinion, for absolutely every single designer out there. If you're watching it, this is my, not like recommendation. This is my philosophy, at least, and you can take it or not. It's up to you. But the goal of design should be to provide the best results for the businesses that you are creating your designs for. Because you're creating your website, the goal shouldn't be to provide the best style, the best, most beautiful effects and everything. The main idea is to create something that will be valuable for visitors of this website, and also that will make lots of money, engagement, retention, whatever metric the business is looking for. Focus on those metrics, and then you will achieve the best results. So now, based on all the experience, I defined my own process for designing websites, and I want to share it with you. You can follow it, or if you want to, you can define your own. And my recommendation is define your own based on your experience, based on your project that you are working on. Define your own process and write it down if you want to. Make the arrows like I'm showing it for you here. This step, then next one, the next one, the next one. Create those processes that will allow you, even if you're working in a company, you think like, oh, okay, it's probably for business or for agencies. No, no, no. Even if you're working in the company already, in a startup or in an agency, build your own process. So every single time when the project comes to you, you know exactly what to do, step by step. Even if someone else is doing it different way in your company, or even if someone else is doing it different way out there on social media and showing it to you, and even if I'm showing it my process to you, just get the idea and build your own process. This will allow you to be the most efficient in web design because you will know exactly what to do with every single project, because based on those steps, you will know like, okay, I don't need to cover this step or these steps, but I will definitely have to go through this, that, and that, and that. And you will know exactly what to do. The hardest thing about design usually is to define what to do. Because after this course, or you already know how to do some stuff, after this course you will know even more how to do this stuff. After this course you will learn why to do this or that thing. So even for these purposes, by the way, this lesson is for why to think strategically, why to define point A and point B, why to create your own process, because it will help you to be more efficient and it will save you time, and it will save, most importantly, your mental health, because you will know exactly what to do. And usually it's really hard, like, okay, you will understand why. Why? Because I will become more efficient. Cool. How? Okay, well, by doing this, that, and that. We will go through all these lessons. Through all the lessons of this module, Efficient Web Design with Figma, you will understand how to do all these things. The most important, just one question that will left, will be what exactly to do and what not to do, which is also an important question, like what I shouldn't do, what I shouldn't waste my time on when working on this project. And that's why I want to present you my process, and then I'll present you my model that I follow for absolutely every single web design project. And it helps me, it saves me, oh my God, I can't even imagine, but I would be honest with you, months of my time. So now let's get back to the process that I'm following. Well, first of all, yes, act as a human. You are not a robot. Find your approach, think strategically. What is strategy? We already discussed. Now, the process. This is how I do and start every single project. First of all, I define my goal. Define the goal that I'm going to achieve with this website, web page, landing page. So is it to make money? Is it to create something like a money-making machine for my client? Is it something like to build the website to promote a specific product, or to show the process, or to make people understand, to help people understand what this business is about, like an informational website, or build a really useful e-commerce platform that people will love to use. It will be super easy for them, and it will make money, of course, for the business as well. So first thing is to define your goal. What do you want to achieve? Because that one thing will help you to reduce the time you are spending on creating, creating design, because you will know where you're moving to, and you will know, okay, that's not bringing me to the goal. That thing is not bringing me to the goal. Well, this is exactly what I need to focus on. And then once you reach the fastest way, you reach the goal, now you can think, well, there were a couple of things I was thinking about to add to this website. Should I do that? Well, they can enhance somehow. Or like it can be a next stage that I can propose to the client, like, hey, with this website, you will achieve all your goals that you already set. But I also have a couple ideas for you, so you can apply them as well, and it may enhance your results. I can't promise the results, but it may enhance from my experience. So this is how you can think when you know the goal that you are moving to. That's the first step. The second step is to, in order to achieve that goal, start collecting data. And by collecting data, I mean research. Do your research. Who are the visitors? Who is the target audience? Where are they spending most of their time? What do they prefer? What questions do they ask? What problem do they have? What the solution might look for them? Are they familiar with the problem that they have, actually, this problem? Like all these different sales and marketing approach, and also think about, like, of course, you have to know human psychology. I'm talking about like how to deliver the results, how to answer all the questions that people have in their head, how to answer them through this website, through this web page that I'm building, that I'm designing for my client or for myself or for the company I'm working at. Collect all the data from the business, from the client, or from the company, or from yourself. Who do you want to help? Or if you are building, let's imagine you're building a portfolio for yourself, then the collecting data will be something like, okay, how many years of experience do I have? What types of projects I already built? How many projects I built? What is the best project that I was built? What was the most challenging project? What project achieved the highest results from from all of my experience, from all the projects that I already built? What was the best, from metrics perspective? Then where I'm from, actually, where do I live right now? What I believe in? What is the most important I want people to know about me? What is my philosophy? What is my value? What is my mission? Some of these questions can be really tough. And in this case, if you think like, okay, I can't answer to this question right now, then just skip it. Don't waste time on that. Find the questions that people might ask you, but you have answers, and focus on them. That's exactly the point where you can define like, okay, I don't have all the answers. Like, I don't know my values, I don't know my mission, or I don't have mission at all. And it's totally fine. But you can put it on the shelf. And then once you finished with all the questions that you have answers to, you can get back to that shelf and take like, but honestly, yeah, exactly. What is my mission? What are my values? What do I value in businesses? What do I value myself in my designs? Like, what is my philosophy? Where I'm going to? Who do I want to help? Like, if you don't have some answers, start looking for them. And this is how you collect data. It's not only about collecting data about people, usually people when think about user research, they think, okay, just do user research. The user research should be related to you or to the business that you are focusing on. Because you can do user research like people love vanilla ice cream. And you're like, wow, this is awesome. And then the business that you're working for is about real estate. And you're like, how is it connected at all? Of course, we can connect these two things. But at the same time, again, everything should be related. So that's why you have to collect data from both sides, from business, or it can be yourself, and from people who will be visiting the website. So that's why I collect data. Step 3, this is my process. Again, getting back so you understand that you don't have to follow all the steps. Now I'll go a little bit faster, by the way, just to cover all of them, and I don't want to overwhelm you because this course is about how to do something with Figma. I'm giving these lessons, just this specific lesson, just for those people who want to learn a little bit more about processes, who want to become more efficient. This is more like a theory that will make you much better web designer. You can skip it and go directly to creation stage, and that's it. That's totally fine. It's your life, it's your approach. Let's get back to process. Prioritize next steps. Based on the data that you will collect, both based on all the information that you will get about businesses, about what people are looking for, prioritize these things according to what people are looking for, according to your visitors' most frequently asked questions. Done. Then define the message. Later I'll show you what the message is, but the main idea is once you understood like in what priority you will be answering these questions that people have, define the message, the way, what will be there, what exactly you are going to talk about. Then explore the style. By explore the style, I mean the exploration stage of design. Sometimes you can get the brand guidelines, like that includes typography, colors, images, logos, like all this different information. But at this point, you should also check if the brand guidelines will work for web, because sometimes they can provide you the typography that is not legible for web, for visitors, for users. And then you will have to find a better pair or better typefaces that will match the style of the company, but at the same time will work perfectly in the digital world. And I'm talking specifically about web design, and specifically that it will work as well on mobile device, because lots of people today just looking through the websites go into the websites on the mobile versions of these websites. Done. Exploration stage is done. You explore the style, you define like what will work best here, whether it will be cards, how you will separate the information, how many levels of navigation you will have, like all these different things. You just thinking, trying to find that idea, and then like boom, yes, that's exactly what I'll focus on. Later you can change it, but at this point I'll focus on this specific thing. Explore the style. Next thing, build voice. By building voice, I mean exactly where you did your exploration. Now build voice, which means that typography, colors, and images that you are gonna use to express that message that you built. Because then you were exploring, you're like, okay, I can try these typefaces, I can go with these colors, I can try mix these colors and everything. Oh, okay, these colors look good. Okay, awesome. Now I'll take these colors and I'll transfer them to actual, like the final version. In the final version, I'll use these colors, this typography, this layout, this spacing system, like all these different things. And that will be the voice of the website. By the way, spacing and grids, they are part of typography. If you didn't know, check the typography masters course, or just look for on Wikipedia what typography is, and then you'll understand why grids, layouts, spacing, vertical and horizontal rhythm, why all of these things are part of typography. And this is basically how you build voice of your website, of the web page. This also includes storytelling that you will use. Okay, got it. The next thing is naming. Not necessary, but some people have this approach where they name all the layers while they're creating something. Sometimes people name the layers only at the very end of the project when they are going to hand off the project to developers. Some people don't name layers at all. And I'm pretty sure that lots of you, and you maybe the same as me, I use naming depending on the project. If I design something for myself, I never name projects. I never name layers, only pages, never layers. Not like never, but only sometimes layers. Why? Because I know exactly what I'm looking for. This is my file. I'll be working with it. I understand it. I just can go, click, select, search, easy. Sometimes I name the layers during the process because it will help me later to use it to convert it into, for example, a component, or convert it into variables. So then it will be much easier for me to get back to these layers. And sometimes I'll name some of the layers, some of them not, but then before the handoff, because I know that some other designers or developers or someone else will be working on this project, I know them to understand where exactly what. So that's why I rename everything. And of course, when I have a project that I built for myself, kind of for myself, well, for other people, like digital products, when I create templates, when I create design files, digital files, like in this case, I name everything. So when people buy these digital products, they can go through all these layers and they understand like the logic behind them. This is how it works. So naming, as you can see, some of these steps of this process are grayed out and some of them like highlighted, mostly because it depends. Sometimes you don't have to go through the exploration stage because you already know exactly like what typefaces I'll be using, colors, spacing, what exactly the style I'll be following, because I'm working only in one specific style and I will continue working with this style everywhere. So that's why I don't have to spend my time on exploration stage, because I already know what I'm going to do. Next step after naming, code documentation library. So once you, for your website or project, like build everything, it's time for implementation. And usually, well, implementation goes to developers. This is like handoff. Think about code documentation library as a handoff preparation. So this is where you will collect everything together And it doesn't mean that you have to code, but it means that you have documentation, you have kind of explanation to developers who will be coding this website or this web page, what and how everything should be done. And you also provide the design library so they can click on different elements and grab them and code them. And if you are really experienced designer who is working with design systems, for example, in this case, most likely, at least I know a lot of designers who started their journey from front-end development or have experience in front-end development. I myself, this person, so I know how to code, and in some cases I can also provide code solutions for some specific things, because I know it will be easier for developers to find the solution, the common solution, like, okay, the design looks like that, but what's the code for that will be. And then I'm, as this designer, it's not my job, honestly, but I really love to have a good communication with developers to achieve at the very end, to achieve the result that was designed, not the one that, you know, everything is broken and then you have to go through the design quality assurance. So you have to go through and check every single piece to match the styles and everything. Most likely will have to go through that, but if you provide some more information to developers, they will be able to develop it the way you designed it. Done with this process. The next one is improvements. One, everything is done, implemented. Are there any things that you can implement? How you can improve it? This is the stage. Improvement is usually like the second iteration. Before that, we create something that not necessarily is the final version, like final version. It's something that works for users and that works for businesses or that works for you. But it doesn't mean that it can't be improved. Everything can be improved. And this is the stage that improvements, this is the stage where you can add something else. Everything is working already and working great, maybe. But is there anything that you can improve? If yes, this is the stage where you can start improving. One part of the improvement can be motion design. In general, interactions and all these micro interactions, UI animations, if they're done right, they improve, they enhance user experience. And this is what I'm talking about in the Motion UI Design Masterclass. I'm talking about how to use UI animations, motion UI design, micro interactions to improve user experience. Not only to make it look cool, but also to guide people so they can understand when they click on that thing what is happening exactly, and this is the result that they will achieve, and it looks intuitive to them. And that's the goal of motion design. But usually companies don't have time, for example, for that. Clients don't have budget for that. Designers don't have knowledge how to create motion design. Developers always like, oh my God, I don't know how to do that. Usually it's lazy developers. Good developers will always find a way how to do absolutely anything. Lazy ones will be like, oh, I don't know what to do, how to do it, how to achieve it. And then you as a designer give them the code and they're like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Come on, I'm a designer, I'm not even a developer, but I was able to do that. That's a separate pain. Okay, so motion design goes as part of improvement. If I can improve design with motion, I will definitely go for that if the right resources for that, like time and budget. The next part is collect numbers. This is the stage where the project is already working, everything is going fine, but this is the part that I recommend you to do, is to collect numbers like retention, DAU, MAU, engagement, just any numbers, conversion rate, then like collect all the numbers that you can collect from the very beginning. And then collect them again in a month from the moment you collected those numbers, if it's a new project. If you are redesigning something, then collect numbers from the very beginning during the stage of collect data, and then collect numbers at the result, because this will help you to understand how retention was increased, then how like daily active users or daily active visitors for websites increased. Based on these numbers, you will be able to attract new clients, and you will be able to understand what works in design solutions and what doesn't work. Numbers help to understand these things. This is like a quantitative, not research, I would say at this stage it's already quantitative results, quantitative analysis. Yep. Then the next thing that I recommend you to do if you are designing for someone else, get testimonials, get feedback. You will be able to put it into your portfolio for the case studies. You will be able to share it on social media to get clients. You will be able to post it on social media to show other companies that who you are and that you're actually the person they can trust. And also these testimonials are really great for yourself, not only to improve your skills, but also to build your confidence. One of the most important, not one of the most, the most important, the number one thing, the number one skill for absolutely every single designer is confidence. The more confident you are, the more unstoppable and most powerful you become as a professional. And when you get testimonials that talk about your work, they're not about you, they're about your work, but because you did this job. It's also part of you. And by getting testimonials, you improve and increase your confidence, because you see that actually what you do makes sense. Actually what you do has a meaning. What you do brings something new to this world. And because of that, you feel better about yourself. So that's why get testimonials, to know more about yourself, and specifically about yourself as a professional. It's not about your self-worth, but it's about your confidence. So keep it in mind. Once everything is done, analyze, optimize, and build processes based on everything that you just did. It doesn't mean that you have to do it for absolutely every single project, but you have to do it for absolutely every single new project that is different from, somehow is different from everything that you created before. Maybe record a Loom video how you did this or that while you were working on a website, on a web page. Maybe you can optimize the ideas on how to, okay, it took me 5 days to define 2 typefaces that I will be using for this website. How can I optimize this process? Maybe you can take a course, maybe you can learn more about font pairing or how to choose the right typefaces, like how you can optimize the process. Okay, I can learn how to do this. You write the tasks to-do list for you. And then based on this to-do list, you go and optimize your process. So next time you're like, okay, this project is about that. So the keyword for this thing will be this. I will be using like Adobe Fonts to define based on the keyword what will work best for this project. I'll be using this particular typeface for my headings. And then for the paragraphs, I'll be using the font pair, I'll be using the same, or I'll be using just system typeface. So it will help you to define what typeface to choose in just like a couple of minutes and done. Or maybe it will be much easier for you, like if you are just designing everything using Inter typeface for absolutely everything, then well, that problem solved for you. But maybe there is something else that you can optimize, or maybe you can build a process that will allow you for the next website that you will be designing to make it much faster. And one of these things is to create a UI kit. So you designed this project. Can you take some of the sections of the web pages that you designed for this website and add them to the UI kit that you have. Or maybe build a new UI kit. Let's imagine that you were always designing like informational business corporate websites, and then boom, the new project that you got is e-commerce project. And then it doesn't make sense. Well, some of the sections can be similar, but it doesn't make sense from the e-commerce, like filters and all the different information about the product, to bring it to the same one UI kit. No, you can create the separate e-commerce UI kit for yourself for your next project. So next time when you see the project comes to you, and e-commerce project, and you know, okay, for the e-commerce project, I have a specific e-commerce UI kit where I have 3 different layers of 3 different types of navigation. Then I have filters, I have category, specifically for categories, category pages, sections. I have sections about delivery, shipping, product information, filters including sizes, like all these different components specifically for e-commerce. And then you'll go to that and will use those elements. And then if you are working as a, for example, as a business of one, and if you want to open your own design agency, then you're able to teach the people you will hire the processes that you have. And you can transfer all these UI kits that you built to them and show them and to teach them how to use these UI kits. So everything, every single person who will be working for you and with you will follow your processes and will follow your UI kits. So it will be just your style. That's why it's important to create your own UI kits and design systems, your own, not just buying and copying from someone else. It takes time from the very beginning, but it's worth it in the long run. So think about it. And the final step of the process is share your work. What does it mean? Like once the project is done, try to create a case study. Not try to create. My recommendation is create your case study and record all the steps that you are doing while you are, all the steps for the your case study. Well, my approach for case studies is this. You define what exactly the structure of the case study before even taking a project. You define what exactly the structure of the case study will be. On my website, you can find the perfect UX UI design case study template. It has this structure, and then based on this structure, you know exactly what to write down while you're working on the project. So you're working on the project, so it's about user flow, or like, it's about numbers. Okay, I'm collecting numbers. Now the numbers are these. Later, when I will collect the numbers will be like the result. And then you wait while the project is done. The project is done, launched, then you collect the numbers, and boom, done. So I increased retention rate by 53%. And I know that, okay, I'll get this information and I'll put it into my case study. Because I know the structure of the case study, I know exactly what to collect from the process of creating a website for my case study. And at the very end, once the project is done, implemented, collected testimonials and everything, you build the case study page on your website or on Behance if you want to. And then you share your work. You build multiple different media pieces of content for social media, for Dribbble, for Behance, for Instagram, for LinkedIn, for all these different social media platforms where you can share your work, because this way you tell more about yourself as a professional, but also people will get understanding of who you are as a professional, and maybe they will want to hire you. Or maybe they will want to work with you. Or maybe you will find new friends because you will be able to share with them the information that oh my God, I didn't know how to do that. And you shared it. Thank you so much for that. It can be like that. Define your process. This is but if it works for you, just follow step by step exactly as it is. If you want to create your own, do your own. Just go with that. but processes will help you to become more efficient as a web designer. And it sounds interesting, but just this part of the lesson looks like already the entire course that worth a lot of money. I understand, yeah, absolutely. But I wanted to, before we dive into creating, I wanted to give you this information because I want you to be really efficient web designers. I want you to make money. I want you to make a lot of money doing what you love. And I want you to spend more time doing what you love to do, what you want to do. But because sometimes we serve other people, by the way, if you don't know what does it mean to serve other people means that I dedicate my time to completely to other person. And because I'm dedicating my time, I can do it just from my heart. Like, I just want to do that. I just feel it right. I just feel good about it. I feel good about helping this person. And I know that, like, my family doesn't need my time right now. Or I don't need my time right now, so much time right now. I'm ready to share it with other people. You can do it for free. But my recommendation is do it for money. Not because like you become the person who like, oh, you're a greedy person, you want money for absolutely everything. No, because this is your time. Your life in this world is limited. In this 3D world is limited. And because of that, when you dedicate your time and take money for that, basically what you're doing, you're telling other people not only that your time worth money, but also you're telling to other people that if they want to work with you, if they want to spend, if they want you to help them, to serve them, they also have to do something to make this money so they can give it to you. And because they have to do something, they actually learn something, they actually do something, and they make this world better. And asking for money from other people, you both grow because people will pay you money, and in this case you will be able to use this money for your family, to provide for your family, for yourself, maybe for your needs, to improve your design process, to build, to scale your business. But also another person who paid you because they had to do something to make this money, they become better as people. I'm not talking about stealing money and all these different things. No, I'm talking about actual, like, we're here adults, right? And we understand what is good and what is bad and like all these different things. So what I'm going to say that when you're asking money for your time, you're actually making this world better. I want you to understand this thing. And that's why, by the way, like all the courses, in my opinion, should cost money, because lots of creators share all their knowledge on YouTube, on Instagram, on social media. You can learn from those things. But if you want something in a condensed version, people spend years to collect this knowledge, and then they spend months to create this course for you. So to give this, to provide this information to you. And then when you buy, if you want to buy this course, for example, like this course, you bought it, you spent your money, but you did something to make those money. And after that, it's like an investment. You invested your money, that you did something to make money, then you invested in this course. After this course, you will be able to do everything much faster, much easier, which will save more time for yourself. And this saved time you will be able to give to other people and make even more money. And because of that, everyone is winning. My philosophy of life, when it comes to relationship with any other people, is win-win. Try to find the way where everyone is winning. If you're getting something for free every single time, or you are stealing from other people, then, well, another person losing, you're winning. It's win-lose situation. But if everyone is doing something to win, in this case, the entire nation, not nation, the entire humanity is growing and getting to the next level. Okay, a little bit of mindset thing. You could skip it if you want to. Now let's get back a little bit more about message and voice. What does it mean? A while ago, like about 2-3 years ago, I built them. I found that it gave the name of the design process that I'm following for like about last 8 years. I called it message voice design model. And the message voice design model is based on a simple approach that every single website that you are building is just a visual, sometimes audio, sometimes other types of communication, but in most of the cases, it's a visual communication between one side, like a business, you, company, whatever, and another side, visitors, users. And in between, there is a digital version of that represents this group of people. So these people, visitors and users, can go and check what this business is about. Got it? So message voice, what's the idea behind it? From the very beginning, this is the process where in order to build a really great website, you have to understand what message you are delivering and in what way. The message is exactly what you want to. Let's imagine that you're a business and there is a person, another person comes to you and start asking you a question. Hi, may I know who you are? And they're like, you are replying, well, I'm the business and my name is this. I'm doing these different things. This is your navigation. And in general, our business help these type of people overcome this problem by this solution within this time frame. So people can benefit. 1, benefit 2, benefit 3. So basically, a person came by to you, to your business, to learn more about you, and then they understand who you are and if you as a business can help them. So you are building a message. But then there is another thing, because we can, when we talk to other people, we use words and we use our voice, and at least we can use sign language, so people can see and hear us. But when it comes to digital world, people just can see. So in order them to hear you, you build this voice, and the voice that you build, you are building it, you are showing it through the typography that you choose, typefaces, through the layout, through the colors, through the images, because they all cause emotions and they all cause feelings. Because what is user experience? It's what the user is experiencing. And how people experience things? Well, through the smell, through the eyesight, through the ears, through the touching something, and through the taste. That's all. That's the only way how we can experience something. And then there is another thing, another way to experience something is cognitive experience. This is where we can just remember how something was experienced before, and then we can predict somehow what the experience will be. So basically, we can experience something without actually touching it, seeing it, hearing it, just because we can, well, based on my previous experience, I understand that this new experience, it's called bias. But anyway, getting back to this thing, voice. When it comes to web design, the voice is the typefaces that you're using, colors that you're using, and everything that causes people emotion through, while people are looking on the website, on the web page, through their eyes, with their eyes. And when people look at the web page with their eyes, based on typefaces, images, and colors, the voice can be this. Pretty slow, you know, without jumping, without bombarding people with information and words. Or the voice can be completely different. You can become a completely different person if you're using a little bit bolder typography and you're using lots of words, step by step, paragraph about paragraph. And then at the end you have another heading. Now let's talk about heading 2. Now we have heading 2 and then it goes paragraph that explains heading 2. But because headings are so huge, they're bold, so the voice sounds a little bit louder. Or it can be something simple and elegant. We're not going to convince you in something. We just tell you that we are the business who are doing what we are doing and we are enjoying it. We provide, I don't know, yoga mats for people so you can relax, and we don't want to yell at you. You know, all these things you can imagine them, what typography you would use, what colors you would use. If you use like low saturated colors but bright ones, in this case you know that it's something mild, it's something bright in this case. If you're using elegant typography, elegant typefaces, in this case you know that it will be something with a status, maybe with a history, something that never try to run, just walks. Or if you want to be a little bit louder, if you want to show who you are with this business, then you will use like bolder typography like Bebas New maybe, or Dean. And the same applies to images. Images will reflect the typefaces, the message itself, and the colors. So that's why I called it message voice. So you build a message and the same message can sound absolutely differently based on the typefaces that you choose, colors that you choose, and images that you choose. So that's why I called it message voice design model. And if we translate it into UX UI design, so message is like UX. This is where you define, when you do the research, when you define the information architecture, like kind of structure, user flow, and then you create the visual representation of it based on colors, typefaces, so it will be visual design. But because visual design is part of UI, of user interface, then it will be inside of user interface. And because grids and layouts is part of typography, in this case it's also part of UI. This is where we come to Gestalt principles like continuity, proximity, like you know all these things already probably. If you don't, just wait a little bit. I'll provide this information in one of my next courses. So part of the UI is also analysis, because we have to analyze whether what we created is good or not for people. And of course, in general, everything goes under one big line like product design, where we have to design. We can design a project for users, completely just for users, without thinking about businesses, money, budgets, and everything. But in order to have time and resources to create a product for people, we have to get it from somewhere. And usually we get it from investors, or from our own pocket, or we get it from the company we're working at, or from clients. So that's where we have to know who they are. And this is where we define the strategy, like we understand the product strategy that we are building for this specific business. And then at the very end, we check the results and we see if we can improve something, and then we go through the same process again. So if you love this model, I have a really huge incredible idea, exciting idea that is sitting in my chest right now, in my heart and in my brain as well. So I'm gonna launch like a course dedicated specifically on that. And to simplify this model is just when it comes to when it comes to this specific course, Figma Pro Secrets, where we're actually building, creating something. We are not spending time on research. We are not like, because of this course is not specifically for that. This course specifically about how to do something with Figma. This is where we'll focus on one specific area: typography, colors, images, illustrations. But basically it will cover absolutely everything, because all the navigations consist of typography and colors. All the sections of each web page consist of typography, colors, and images. And that's basically it. That's basically it, because everything is based on these three elements. This is what we'll be focusing on. One additional thing, because I was talking about design systems and UIKit, this is the thing that I recommend you to understand, that sometimes UIKit can be a design system can be a UIKit, but in general, design system is much more than a UIKit. UIKit is something like a collection of reusable components that you can use in your design, like just grab the component and use it. Grab the element, even the tiniest one, the smallest, the atom, and use it. But when it comes to design system, it's more than a UIKit. It includes all the guidelines, it includes code, aliasing, like a little bit additional things. So here I created them. It's not the full version of what a design system and UIKit may include, but it's most of that. It's most that the most thing that you need to know about design systems and UIKit is in these two columns. And in a gray color is everything about design system. In a black color is everything related to UIKit and design system. So as you can see, UIKit includes typography style guide, color style guide, layouts, grids, and spacing, while it's part of typography, effect style guide, icons, images, videos, UI components library, and interaction states, micro interactions. So this is UIKit. And by the way, interaction states only if you want to add them. Everything else, like brand, UX guidelines, and naming, where we use this logo, where we don't use this logo, how this logo will be used if it's on mobile, and what's the difference between the mobile version of the logo and the logo for the desktop, logo at the navigation, at the top navigation, and logo in the footer. Is there any difference? So all the guidelines is part of the design system. Voice and tone, this is related mostly to the message, to the copywriting. It's also part of the design system. Then UX writing, the way you write words, we are not using learn more, we're using specifically action points, so it should be also part of the design system. Titles and alt text for media. Some people think like, okay, when I'm designing a website, I just provide the image and that's it. And then someone will define what the alternative text will be. It can be someone, usually it's SEO person, but you can also provide this information in the description to the image. You can provide this information that the alternative text for this image is, because it's part of the accessibility. And if your team, your design team, or if you're working alone, care about accessibility as well, in this case, you also include this information yourself, and it's also part of the design system. Then tokens and variables, or variables, because today Figma call tokens variables. They're also part of the design system, and it's all about aliases. For example, in UIKit, you don't have to create aliases if you don't want to. It can be part of it, but you don't have to. You just have color style guide, and that's it. That's more than enough for you. But maybe you can create aliases, which means that you have one color, and this color has another meaning, semantic, for different types of elements that you will be using. So you have, let's imagine you have blue color, it's just blue color, 0000FF. That's it. But then you can use it for links, you can use it as a background for buttons, you can use it as a background for the section, and basically for this blue, it can be your primary color or accent color. As an alias, you use accent color, and it can be link accent color, button background accent color, not button, but just section background accent color. In this case, like you use the same alias, accent color, but the semantic where you will be using this color is different. And later you will be able to change this color, or maybe you can change only one color, blue, then like decided, you know what? We decided to go with red instead of blue. And you just change one color, the accent color, and because all aliases are using this color, like all the elements will change the color to red as well. So tokens and variables. Documentation and guides. Documentation and guides, this is something like we use heading 1 only one per page because of SEO, and we can use as many H2, H3, H4, H5 as we want on the page. Then the next thing, H1 is this size and this style, but it also, if it's used on the blog post, then we can go with uppercase. This is the thing that we can use. So this is in the documentation. We'll not cover these things here in this course because it's a separate thing. We're here about how to do something with Figma. If you want to learn more, if you want to learn more specifically from me, one-on-one consultation or mentorship, I'll be super happy to help you. Then code and design code connection. Code, if you know how to write code, you write code. If you don't know how to write code, design code connection, maybe you know, maybe you saw like, you went to CodePen, or you went and you saw one particular solution, design solution that you really love, and you on one website, and you applied the same solution in your design. So you can provide the link. In order to do this, you can follow this website. Or in order to do this, you can use this code from GitHub, if you have it. So it can be provided there in design system. And if you work close with developers, then you define the documentation, you define the code in the design itself, in the design system together. So this is how it works. Covered this topic. Oh my God, guys, this is like a course, honestly. I know that you're watching this video and you're like, wow. We haven't started creating it yet, but it's already changed my mindset. It's already something that so cool that will help me to understand everything much better, or maybe it will help you to understand that, oh, maybe I need to learn this and that and that. In any case, I wanted to give you information and I hope that you enjoyed it. Just two things left to say. The first one is not every single project needs a design system. So if you were overwhelmed by the previous slide about design systems and UI kits, not everything has to be a design system. Just remember that if you're designing a landing page for someone, you don't have to have a design system. You can have a simple, really small, simple UI kit for all the landing pages that you are creating. If you're working just yourself and building like 5-10 pages projects, again, for like corporate world or SaaS projects, you don't have to have a design system. You just can have a UI kit, dedicated UI kit for SaaS project, dedicated UI kit for corporate projects. And only if you're working in a company or for the company, for a huge company that has lots of projects or has one project with lots of countries where this project is used at. Only in this case, build design systems. Because the idea of the design system is to make design changes when they need super simple and fast. So that's why you are spending time on creating a design system now, so in the future it will be just in one click. That's the purpose of design system. But when you understand that I have just a one-time project just for this month and I'm working on it, you don't have to build a design system for that. Only if you sold it as an additional deliverable element. Then you can create kind of small design system, but it's still a UI kit. But anyway, you can call it a design system because now it sounds cool. And then you can sell it as a deliverable element for the website that you built. And the website is like 3-5 pages and you have a design system for that. Wow, awesome. But maybe this client will build out of this small website a huge empire. And in this case, the design system that you created is a really good starting point for all future projects. But just keep in mind that not every single project needs a design system. In most of the cases, UI kit will be more than enough for you to have, just for your needs to make your design process 10 or even 100 times faster. Now, let's start creating. Let's go to the practice mode. Let's start creating them. Navigation, step by step, everything that we already covered in the previous lessons. Like we will go through everything, every single step, every single part of the web page, and we'll create different types of web page, different types of components, different types of elements. And we'll be using, sometimes we'll be creating variables, sometimes we'll, like it's an advanced type of using Figma, but still I want to show it to you. We'll create components using just, components. Sometimes we will create variants. Sometimes we will create even interactive components because we want to show all the different states of the button. Sometimes we will create even like styles using the styles. You already know from the first module how to create styles, but this way, in this specific module, we'll be creating them specifically for the websites, for web design. So let's dive in. Let's start doing what we came here for. And I hope that this lesson was really helpful for you. It's like the entire course itself. But in my opinion, I think it's really valuable and it will help you to build your processes. So while it will help you maybe change your mindset and define what you will go next. Now you will think strategically. Now you will know that, okay, it's better to think about UIKit and case study before you actually start creating something, designing something, because it will help you in the future. So you got this idea, right? Let's dive in and let's start creating something with Figma. See you in the next lesson. We'll be talking about typography style guide. We'll create our own first typography style guide that we'll be using in our next projects. Let's get started.